everyone. Happy fall. Today is the first day of autumn, if you're in the northern hemisphere. Anyway, so to celebrate, I have some fall or autumn themed journals. These were a lot of fun to put together. I've not done very many wire-bound journals, so I thought, you know what? I want to make some that are smaller. Autumn's not an extremely long season. I mean, it's just as long as the others, but doesn't it seem like once autumn starts, winter is like, boom, it's right there. So anyway, I didn't want to make, great big full-size fall themed journals. So I thought these little journals would be perfect size for a single season. And I also wanted to make some journals for the shop that were a little bit more affordable, more affordably priced. So I know that handmade journals can get a little pricey, so these will be a little bit more affordable pricing. I haven't decided what they will be, but I can absolutely promise you they will be well under 100. So anyway, that being said, let's take a little look through them. I'm going to start with these little ones. So they are essentially the same. Let's see. Oh, my camera keeps going crooked. I am so sorry. I'll have to remember to watch for that. Make sure that we're not going to be looking everything sideways. They're essentially the same. There'll be a few minor differences. Maybe the color of a sticker or color of a leaf here on the cover. Other than that, they are pretty close to being identical. So I'm only going to flip through one of them since it's just extremely minor differences in them. And I will make sure to put all measurements and all page counts in the description box below. This is on the smaller side. So this is 7.5 tall. And it's about a 5-inch journal. So it's a narrow, little portable sized journal. And it's, roughly, it looks about an inch to a little over an inch if I squish it down a little bit. So anyway, it does have a little bit of alligator mouth. All right, so let's open it up, and I think I'm going to zoom on down here a tad so you can see things a little more closely. Let's try that. Okay, so no digitals that I can remember in here, just really nice papers. So had a couple of pads of this autumn themed paper that just really was tickling my creative fancy. So let's see. This is a page out of a vintage name and address book from the 60s. That's a workbook page piece from a workbook from the 60s or 50s. This green paper is actually from an old Reader's Digest book. It's one of the end papers, so it's from the late 70s, I do believe. So I've tried to put as many old vintage papers in there as I could. There is a quote down here on the pocket. Love the trees until their leaves fall off, then encourage them to try again next year. I like that quote. Lots of machine stitching, just for decoration, just because it's fun. So little tabs. This is Edith Holden book pages right here that I've put in just cause. This little typewriter thing there, little label says falling leaves, and then it has a little wood little wooden leaf decoration. We've got a piece of an end of an envelope. So I've in here, right here, there we go. This would be the end of the envelope there. So why not use it for a little small pocket, right? and just has a little small card in there to write on. You could decorate it yourself if you wanted to. Various coffee stained paper, tea dyed papers. This is just some greenish tinted paper that I had done. It's kind of grungy. This is an actual eco dyed sheet of paper that Dakota and I had created. Autumn is a second spring where every leaf, or when every leaf is a flower. And that's just some of the cut off of the eco dyed paper there that I've used for a little tuck spot. And we have the envelope. We are getting a little crooked here. There we go. We have the envelope with a wax seal, and it has a bee on it, which I thought's kind of fitting with the apples, because you know when apples fall to the ground, when you go apple picking, there's always bees flying around the apples. So, and just it's from this book, scrapbook of, yeah, the scrapbook paper stack. I don't remember what this one's from, but it's just a little piece of ephemera that's in there. And we have a larger sheet of paper that folds out, double-sided. And then here, just have a pretty piece of paper. And then you can write down here at the bottom, and this is "Every leaf speaks bliss to me, fluttering from the autumn tree." Emily Bronte. So, and then all these typed quotes, those are actually, I hand typed those on my vintage typewriter that I love. Just a little tag here, a little apple. It says cozy. Just kind of tucks down in there. It's just a old looking index card thing. It's from a paper stack. We have a tag with a stenciled apple. This is some vintage trim. And then the book pages are all from a gardening book. I'm trying to remember how old, what the date on the gardening book is. Let's see if I can find it real quick. 1968. So all the book pages that you'll see in all of the journals that I'll show you, they're all from that book. Then it's from a 1968 book. So not old, not antique, vintage. Anyway, this one's just about shade trees, which I thought's fitting because shade trees are where we see all our leaves in the fall mostly. Then we have some gold embossed leaves. Isn't that pretty? Did that with gold embossing powder in this little small white bag. Just a little label here. It says autumn. Again, there's some more of that eco dyed or eco printed. I keep saying eco dyed, but I think what I'm meaning to say is eco printed paper. So it is the original. No digitals. These bright white papers, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but they're actually a dot grid paper. Little shimmery gold leaf. And then another Edith Holden book page. That's actually a title page. Put that in there. Another sheet of eco printed paper. Here's another gold embossed leaf. And then this paper here is some really funky paper. It's got a really neat texture. Beautiful coloring. It's from a thing of paper Judy got for me. It's got just various different textures and colors and stuff in it. So, and then this is a sheet of stationery paper. I've had this forever. I think Lisa sent me a bunch of these. But I just took the typewriter and just Just put a place for you to write a date on it. Poked it in here. I've tried to make everything usable. So, you know, everything can be journaled on. All the tags and papers. So this is a time card. Here we have another envelope. And I've made just a little card, just a little journaling card that you can write on the back of. Another fold out sheet of paper, double-sided. This is a seed envelope, and I've just placed a little shimmery gold leaf down here in the corner. Inside the envelope is an embossed sheet of craft paper that I've just kind of embellished with a little apple and trim there. Little corner pocket, just a little postcard, replica postcard, and a little handmade tag from some coffee dyed cardstock that I had on hand. And there's that little workbook page from little kid's school book from the 60s, I think it is. It's just a little replica card, but behind it is a little poem that I've typed onto the paper that says, "I love these days when autumn leaves are falling everywhere around, and I can tread among the sheaves and hear their crispy, crunchy sound." Annette Wynne. And I just have a piece of coffee dyed paper here so that you can journal on it. Nothing fancy there. And then just some different sized papers from the paper pad, but I thought that looked kind of cute having them go down like that. And it just says harvest. And then that's the last page. So, and then these are wire bound. So if you're writing, you can actually tuck it in the back. That's how I like to write in notebooks. So anyway, that is that one. And I'm going to call these small journal 1 and 2. So there's 2 of those. Then I have 2 of these. May need to back us up a little bit. 2 of these, and these are a square journal. I think they're like 7 by 7. Again, nearly identical, only minor differences. You know, this one has a darker red paper and a lighter red paper. Other than that, they're nearly identical. 7 by 7, I believe. 7.5 by 7.25. Square-ish. Again, I'll put all the page counts and sizes below. So this one says, "Fall is my favorite season." Lots of machine stitching in this one as well. Let's see, let me open this one up. Yeah, see, slight differences. They are, you know, same page layout, but they're different on what's inside the cover. Other than that, that's about it. Okay, we have a little pocket here in the front. Just a little stenciled piece of one of my offcuts. Just thought it fit perfectly right in there. This just has months, and then it has dates right here. It's just, you know, it's out of a paper stack. So I was trying to stay away from doing any type of digitals, just using what I had on hand for paper stacks, and just making my own tags and journal cards. It was fun. I really enjoyed it. I love doing digitals, but I really enjoyed, I don't know. I've been doing that a lot lately, haven't I? Kind of getting away from digitals and just using scrapbook paper and what I have. So anyway, I keep talking. There's that little poem again. "Love the trees until their leaves fall off. Encourage them to try again next year." Or quote. try to go through things a little faster. There's a leaf that's gold embossed. Just a little journaling card. I've typed up some little things here: apple cider, pumpkin pie, falling leaves, crisp air, book pages, and then I don't know if you can see, I've stenciled some leaves there in the back. Some dot grid paper. Here's some Edith Holden book page. Here's a book page out of that book I was telling you about, the gardening book, or mostly about trees, but just a little handmade tag for writing on. And down here in the corner it says thankful and blessed with the typewriter. There's that poem from Annette Wynne. I love these days when autumn leaves are falling everywhere around and I can tread among the sheaves and hear the crispy crunchy sound. Just a big journaling card to write on, and then just some scrap paper out of that address book I had. Just a piece of that. I know in the other book that's just like this one, instead of leaves on these pages, it's apples. So we have apple or leaves here. The book page even talks about leaves, and this just folds open for journaling. And it's typewritten here, my favorite autumn memories. And then this looks like it's just one sheet of paper, but it's actually two. Kind of neat. This folds out. And you see there's some gold distressing, some gold shimmer in the book on just different places. There's a journaling card inside the envelope. Tried to talk my husband into doing my video for me. He almost did. Let's see, this, I don't know, this is just something I was playing with. It was using two craft paper card blanks that I had, and I just kind of sewed them together to make a flip out thing with a pocket. So leaves are falling, 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 red, orange, yellow, brown. Leaves are falling, falling, falling down to the ground. So just a little tag or card. You could even use these like bookmarks. There's a little tag back here. And some shimmery, it's kind of a rose gold color. Yeah, I said, wouldn't it be fun if you did my video for me? I think everyone would like that. Leave in the comments below if you want my husband to do one of my flip through videos one time. I think it would be a lot of fun. He said he might do it funny. Like, he'd be like, okay, so here we have a thing in this pocket. Yeah, he's a goofball. He's a lot of fun. I think it would be fun if he did one of my videos. Just some little pieces of ephemera there. It's the end of, or cut off part of a time card from, I don't know, this journal or the one before this one. But why waste it, right? So just use it for a little tuck spot. And again, there's some book page, shade trees. So there's some leaves there. That's an Edith Holden book page that I've just put in there to be pretty. There's some of that Echo printed paper. This is an original and it's not a digital. So isn't that neat? So bright. So obviously I can't put the same sheet in the other journal. Let's see. This is the one that's in the other journal. Not quite as pretty as that one, but still very cool and bright nonetheless. Just a little card have pinned on there, and sparkly gold leaf. Oh, there's the rest of the time card. And this just says welcome fall. Dot grid paper, some dyed paper. We have a journaling card. This is a big one. Just has some coffee dyed paper there on the back. A seed envelope. And then in the seed envelope, just have a journaling card. Come on, go back in there. There we go. There's one in this other square journal as well. This dot grid, or not dot grid, just gridded paper. You can see it there. I don't know how old it is, but it's definitely vintage. And it's a little bit thin, so it's kind of delicate. And I just have one of these little paper sacks, and inside I have a long tag, Harvest Blessings, and then the tag just opens up like that. Just a little place to write. And then this is a cardstock. It's like an old antique check, but it's cardstocks from a paper stack. But I've glued some coffee dyed paper on the back of it so that you can write on it on the back. So I think it had a dark color or something on the back of it. Like I said, I've tried to make everything useful for writing on. That just flips out. I think it's about the perfect size to journal your autumn memories. Here's an Edith Holden page. This one's from October. And this is, I just wanted to make this dark colored scrapbook paper more usable. So there's a lighter, I don't think the camera's picking up the print on it, but it's a really, really light tan print that's on there. So you can write on that spot. And then last page, just have a little tag back here in the back of some cute paper, but and then obviously you can write behind whatever's there. So I think most of the pockets that I put in here, you can write on the paper behind the pockets. So anyway, so that is that one, and there is 2 of those. And then we'll look at the next one. This one's just a one of a kind. It's a one-off, and it is about 6 by 8 3/4. So this one's a little different. I put eyelets in the cover to hold the string rather than gluing it under the paper. I don't know why. It's just what I decided to do. So they all have gold paint kind of distressing around the edges. I don't know if you can see that on camera or not. I just was trying to pick up the gold that's in the paper and carry it throughout the whole journal. So okay, in the front here we have little wooden leaf and ribbon and a pocket, and then there's leaves are falling to the ground, little poem there. Shimmering leaves of gold. Try to pick up the pace here a little bit for you. Sorry, I talk way too much. It's just a little card to write. It says Autumn Memories on the inside. One of those paper sacks that say give thanks. And I just have a sheet of gold or orange colored paper. It has leaves on it. I just have that folded up and put inside for you to journal on. So I know that seems kind of plain, but just the whole point was to make everything in it able to be utilized for writing. There's some of that green Reader's Digest book end pages from that. So those are a little bit vintage. A little bit vintage. And in our pocket here, we just have a couple of little, I don't know what you call these. They're not Rolodex cards, but they're similar to that. And this one just says, today's moment to remember. And then this spread here has some book pages going down the sides, leaves, and then this is a calendar or a paper I tore out of a 1962 calendar book. So. And this little page spread, we have just some of those little ephemera things out of the paper pads. This is a tag I made using some of the book page about trees and a leaf down here. Oh, you know, this one's cool. This one's it's an oak tree that's pictured. And so it talks about the oak tree, and then I have little oak leaves on there. I don't know if I did that on purpose or not. Just a little journaling card. Tuck up there. There's an envelope with a bee on there. Just a piece of paper that I've put inside for you to journal on. And then we have a page out of that book they've done a cross section of an apple and an apple blossom. So I thought that was kind of neat. It goes with the apples. Here's another page out of that book with an apple illustration. And yep, this is all about apples. And then and then it goes on from there. This page, every leaf speaks bliss to me, fluttering from the autumn tree. And when you pull it out, it looks like a plain sheet of paper, I know, but this is an end page from a book from the 60s or 70s, and it matched that paper perfectly. So I had to put it in there, but I did put a little gold leaf sticker on it. But you see all this yellowing here? That's natural yellowing. I didn't do that. So there's no distress ink on this at all. That's the natural aging. So that's kind of cool. I like that. There's some more of that paper I talked about earlier that has the neat texture. This yellow, it looks yellow, I think, in the camera, but it's actually gold, like shimmery, shimmery gold. Lisa gave me a whole stack of this paper. It's a pearlescent gold color, so it's not actually bright yellow. Love the trees till their leaves fall off. They encourage them to try again next year. I thought that, isn't that cute with that page with the falling leaves? Okay, then we have some fold out. This is, it's coffee dyed paper, but I think I put a little bit of green in it because it just has a little bit of green tint. Just a little card to write on. This book page, a little decoration in the corner with the leaf there. Just a little cozy apple up here in the corner. This says autumn apples down here. And then this was, it came in the mail, actually, at the time I was doing these journals. So I only had one of them, so that's why it went in this book. But it's just, it was a little, I don't know if it was a bookmark or something, but it talks about it has a Bible verse, but talks about the trees shall yield their fruit. I thought that's kind of cool, and it has the apple on it, so that's in there. This is a page from an encyclopedia, and I think the encyclopedia is from the 40s. Let me look and see if I can get a date on it, just for curiosity's sake. Oh no, I know what it is. My dictionary. I have a dictionary that's from the 40s. This is from 1962. So it's from a dictionary from not a dictionary, encyclopedia from 1962. And it's a little bit brittle. When I fold it, it's a little bit brittle, but it's glued to a piece of coffee dyed paper so that you can write on the back of it. But the whole entry is about apples. So that's kind of cool. And I don't know if you noticed, this is a fall themed journal that's mostly, all of these journals, I mean, are apples and leaves mostly. In fact, I think this pumpkin right here is the only pumpkin that's in any of these journals. So it's not that I don't like pumpkins, but it just seems like most of the fall journals I make end up being all about pumpkins. So I guess this time around I'm celebrating leaves and apples. So this just says I am thankful for, and then just a full sheet of paper to write on. Goes inside this little paper bag that says give thanks, and this paper bag's sewn to the paper behind it, and then I left this side open so you can have just a plain journaling card to write on the back of it. And I kind of left it plain on the front. I liked the simplicity of the apple. I just think it went well with these colors. So some things, sometimes simple is better. There's some of that gold shimmery paper again. And this is just taking some of the leftover coffee dyed paper that I had, and I just put them on there. Why not use them to write on, right? So, and then you could tuck a picture or keepsake or something back there, or glue another sheet of paper back there if you want to. We have a double pocket, little replica postcard, and some more of that really cute paper with the apple and the falling leaves. Then we have a tag. Oh, that's another piece of encyclopedia paper that I went ahead and punched and put in here, but I made sure to back it with some coffee dyed paper to give it some stability and so that you could write on the back of it. And then this talks about apple growing in the United States here on this little banner of book page with an apple. There is some of the echo printed paper. Kind of cool. It is a little bit, you know, it's not perfect because it was boiled in a pot of water with, you know, all kinds of things. So it does have some little imperfections on it because it's not a digital. And here I just have some book page talking about shade trees, and I've sewn it with a piece of coffee dyed paper so that you can write on it. Just have that paper clipped. These were fun. I really enjoyed making these journals, and I really enjoyed doing these wire bindings. This just says Autumn Memories, stenciled leaves on some coffee dyed paper. Put it here in this envelope. I got these green envelopes from Valerie. She has Protea paper and lace, and I just love these green envelopes. And then there's a little piece of that fall is my favorite season, and I've just sewn it to this green. These are pieces of file folder is what these dark green papers are. in there. And then this is a sheet of vellum. And it has that poem from Annette Wynne on it, typed onto the vellum. And then here, in fact, this is this gold cardstock stuff here. I'm pretty sure I got that from Valerie as well, I think. Or mirrored. There we go. That's what I'm trying to say. The mirrored cardstock. It's gold. And it just says Welcome Fall. So. This says Autumn Memories on the little card. This one is Autumn is the second spring when every leaf is a flower. This is kind of a linen texture paper. And then the last page is another page about trees from that book. So, and I'll make sure I put my book label in the back of all of these too. So that is all of them. Again, there are 5. I've got the smaller ones, number 1 and 2. I've got the square ones, number 1 and 2, and then I have this one that's all by its lonesome. So there are 5 of them, and since today is the first day of fall, that would be a great time to get these on their way to their new home. So I will have these listed at, let's say, let me write it down so it's on camera, and I'll make sure I put it in the description box below. But let's do, okay, so Thursday, the 22nd. So Thursday, 9/22, and let's do, how about 8 p.m. I think that should work. I was thinking I don't want to do it earlier than that because I want to make sure I can get home from church in time. So should be able to do it by 8 p.m. So Thursday the 22nd, which is today, first day of fall, at 8 p.m. So look for those to be in my shop at that time, and then I will get them sent out first thing. So anyway, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for hanging out with me for a little bit. Hope you enjoyed these little books as much as I enjoyed making them, and I will see you guys really soon. All right, happy fall. Bye-bye.